Welcome, everyone, to episode 17 of Around the Book podcast. This week, we'll be going over some more college bowl games as well as a few games for week 16 in the NFL. I don't know, I think we lost Jake there. Anyways, we'll still get going. He'll join us. JT will be joining us here shortly. But anything you want to talk about from last week, Dalton? I know both of us were talking a little bit before, just how things have not been going our way.
Yeah. These last few weeks, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I'm getting my shit pushed in.
Yeah.
I mean, bad. It's bad. I'm back to 500 in college. And NFL is quickly becoming a lost cause for me. And yeah, I don't know. I can't get a feel for the bowl games right now. There's just so many changes in college football right now that I feel like the bowl games are just impossible to get a read on right now.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a lot of uncertainty.
But now that we're getting to some more slightly more mainstream bowls this week, maybe it'll start to get a little easier to pick.
Yeah, we'll see. We're
still probably about a week.
Yeah.
We're still a week away from many bowls that really have any meaning at all.
Yeah. Yeah, right now it just seems like we're seeing schools that would never get a televised game right now. So, it's cool for them, but, as a fan, it's just, one more week, and then we get to see some real good games.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake's back. There we go.
Yeah, having some technical difficulties.
All right. Anything you want to talk about from last week?
It was 1-3, not great. Boise State looked promising, and then they gave up 4 touchdowns in a row. The Raiders under wasn't even close. As a Raiders fan, I'm kind of happy about that, but it was a rough week.
Was that the Chargers game where they put up 63 points?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It feels so long ago.
I know. That's what I was saying. I couldn't remember if that was 2 weeks ago or just last week. God. I know. I was I had 2 or 3 bets for that game, and all of them included the under.
Yeah. When I did Gamble Ramble, it was bet on no one to score, bet the under, and bet it was the under on someone else's touchdowns or something. It was something like that. Yeah. It was ridiculous. I didn't think there was any way we would see what we saw. I mean, Thursday Night Football is just insane. It's not real football. Thursday Night Football is not real.
No, I'm curious as to how many points they've scored combined in the previous weeks.
Who, the Raiders?
Yeah.
I don't think they've scored 60. I think to get a total of 63, you'd have to go back a month.
At least a full month.
Yeah.
So I remember the week before they had 0. They got
that's what I'm saying. They were due. And they're like, we're going to put up 63 next week.
God. And the thing is, I still don't even feel that confident about the Raiders. I feel like that game didn't mean anything. I just think it was I think that game was more about the Chargers than anything else.
Yeah.
That was the Chargers' rock bottom.
I mean, it got the result that everyone's been waiting for, though.
Yeah. I'm just shocked Oh, sorry.
I think the Raiders did him a favor.
Yeah.
That was the final nail in the coffin for Staley.
I'm surprised they let Staley on the on the plane. That feels like one where you just leave him at the tarmac.
I couldn't remember. Was it that night or was it next day that he got fired?
It was the next day.
Okay.
But I feel like you don't.
I would have done it
The
at
only
halftime.
thing is, it was a short flight. It was only like a 45-minute flight. But if that was like a cross-country trip, there's no way you can let him back on the plane.
I still don't think they probably let him back on the plane. I would not be shocked if they found him a different way home.
Yeah.
Like, here, take the private jet one last time.
Well, did you guys see his interview on his way to the locker room at halftime of that game?
Yeah.
It was like he was trying to like do the whole like thing that most coaches do, like when they're down, like project calm, like, yeah, we just got to go out and adjust the second half. And it's like, no, dude, that's what you say when you're down 21-0.
Yeah.
Not
when
42.
there's down 21, there's still a chance. It's looking bleak, but dude, you're down 42. Just be like, hey, let's get some of these guys that are on the fence being practice squad. Let's get you guys in there.
Yeah.
Who can throw the ball? It doesn't matter.
I wouldn't have even done the interview. Yeah.
No.
I would have. Oh man.
So, yeah, that was bad. One game I do want to talk about from my last week's slate, and I actually played last night, was Marshall. Freaking plus 12.5. They were up 14-0 at halftime, I think, and then they ended up losing 31-17. Like, just brutal. Going back to what Dalton was saying, like, you just cannot predict these ball games. Kids are leaving, transfer portal, coaches are leaving, just like it's mayhem, and it's hard to keep up with.
And it's tough when no one has anything to play for, too. It's like these games don't matter.
Yeah, they were playing in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? What is that?
It's almost as good as the famous Toastery Bowl.
Oh my god, yeah. I wish we could post that tweet, dude. The guy was like, here's our bag tags for the Toastery Bowl, and it was literally a slice of toast.
Like, I can't wait for the playoff expansion, just hopefully that for the sole reason that hopefully it kills a lot of these bowls.
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculous.
I'm going to feel bad. I will feel bad for the smaller schools, but at the same time, like, there's no way these are, like, smart economically to put on.
Televise the FCS games.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, those are so, yeah, I agree.
Those are actually entertaining.
All right, let's get into some picks. Because we'll just sit here all night talking about how shitty the system is. We'll start off with college. Back to these great bowl games. Now the bowl games are getting better. We're starting to see some more teams that we're used to seeing on Saturdays. My first game in my lock is I'm going JMU minus 2.5 at minus 110. They're going to be playing the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. You guessed it, they're playing against Air Force. Who would have thought with a name like that? JMU's a great team. They had a hard game against Appalachian State. Kind of sucked. It kind of just made the whole like season a downer, but I think they could bounce back in this game. They weren't even really supposed to be here in a bowl game, so I don't know. I think even with the coach leaving, I think they win this by at least a touchdown. And then for my underdog, this one is scary, but just don't think about it and bet it. Northwestern money line plus 198. Like I said,
expert advice.
Expert advice. It's scary. I know it is. I was even hesitant, but everything in me is saying, do it. Now, why I'm saying this, because all year we've just been crapping on Northwestern, betting against them, and we're losing. I hate saying this because now I'm going to bet for them, and I'm sure it's going to bite me in the ass. But I think that they're a lot better than than they were expected to be this season. And Utah is playing way below what they were supposed to be, even though with some injuries. I mean, I get it, but I really think Northwestern could do this. So I took their money line. It's at plus 198. I thought it'd be a little bit higher than that, but I'm still going to bet it.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. I think that's going to be a very much toss-up game. I think it's going to be an ugly game.
Yeah.
Actually, my lock this week is the under in that one, under 41.5. I mean, this is Iowa West taking on Little Iowa. Northwestern is just Little Iowa. Utah is Iowa West. This is an under game through and through.
Yeah.
I don't see any way. I think first team to 20 wins. And I don't know if either team will actually get to 20 even. Both these teams have solid defenses, and they don't really have the most competent offenses. I do agree with you, Casey, that I do think Northwestern can do enough offensively to win this game. But it's going to be a shit show. So I like the under there, minus 110. And then for my underdog this week, this is one where I don't know, maybe I'll get burned again because this is one of those games where I feel like I'm surprised at the line, but I've gotten burned so far in bowl season. But I'm taking Georgia Tech money line against Central Florida at plus 164 in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. I don't even know what Gasparilla is.
No, it sounds like a cleaning product. I don't know. I've heard of like sarsaparilla. I think that's a thing.
What is Gasparilla?
Who knows? It's just another way for ABC and ESPN to show one more game.
I found the Gasparilla Pirate Festival.
Yeah, that's all I think. Yeah, I haven't found anything.
I guess it's that.
That's what it is.
Whatever. Yeah, Georgia Tech. I mean, I feel really surprised by this line. They're playing a Central Florida team that's really not looked great in their first year in Power 5. I mean, none of those new teams to Power 5 really were that impressive this year in the Big 12. And Central Florida is a really good example. They were very much a below average Big 12 team. And the Big 12 really wasn't really anything to write home about this year either. Now the ACC wasn't really either, but Georgia Tech looked strong in a few games this year, especially some non-conference games. I mean, they played Georgia tough. I mean, I know that was a banged up Georgia team to an extent, but they looked solid against Georgia. And I really like I get them getting plus odds against the Central Florida team. I really like it. I'll take that value.
And just one more thing. The Northwestern Utah game is not going to be fun to watch, I don't think. It's going to suck.
No, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, like the under will hit, but Northwestern's going to win. And I say their bowl game is called the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl.
Yes.
So for all you SRS heads out there, this one's for you.
God, and that's in Allegiant too. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's in that beautiful new stadium.
Yeah.
They get to see Northwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And God, that's like the primetime game that day too.
All the casinos are going to have so many comp tickets to give out to that, I bet.
Yeah. It's Saturday at 7, but there's NFL at least this Saturday, so that helped.
All right. Well, staying on that game, my lock this week is going to be Utah minus 6.5. So we got a little competition. I did not know that Northwestern was bowl eligible until the last episode when we were talking about it.
Some say people sleep on them.
I think I was one of them, apparently. I just think Utah is a better team. This is going to be an ugly game. The under will hit. Any prop bet, the under will hit. It's not going to be good, but I think Utah is good enough to win this by a touchdown.
I agree.
But yeah, there's not much more to say about this one. And then my underdog, I'm going to be going with Air Force money line at plus 114. I think James Madison is I think James Madison's a better team, but they're going to be missing their QB and their coach. Their rushing attack was not good this year. Their strength was definitely their passing game. And so I think without the quarterback, I think Air Force should be able to do enough to win this one. It's going to be close either way, and I might as well just take the odds here.
Smart bettors take your side. The real ones will stay with me.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me not like James Madison is the fact that they are going through a coaching change right now. That's kind of the only thing. But it's funny now. We all have that Northwestern Utah game.
Yeah.
So Casey, you have what? Northwestern money line.
Yep.
I got under 41.5.
Yeah.
Jake, you have Utah -6.5.
Yeah.
So we know the final score is going to be 23-20 Utah. And none of us are going to have our picks.
Yep. That's exactly how that's about to hit. I guess since JT hasn't joined us yet, we'll go over his college picks for him real quick. He has for his lock Minnesota -4.5. Let me see, who are they playing?
They are playing in the Quick Lane Bowl.
Oh, against Bowling
Bowling Green.
Hold on, I thought you had to have 6 wins to get into a bowl game.
If they don't have enough teams to fill the bowl, then they start taking 5-win teams that they like.
Gotcha. Okay, so Minnesota.
So that's how you get this matchup.
Okay, so Minnesota -4.5. I mean, it's against a MAC team. I mean, MACtion, awesome, but I don't know. If it was like late night MACtion, like on Tuesday at 10 o'clock or something like that, I'm going Bowling Green all day on that one, but I like Minnesota -4.5.
Well, it's a Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to go Minnesota all day on that. And then he has for his underdog Duke +7.5. They're playing Troy in the 76 Birmingham Bowl. So Troy's 11-2. I'm not going to sit here in front and act like I know anything or a bunch of stuff about Troy. Obviously, Duke hasn't played to their standard that we thought they were this year, but I think they could cover 7.5.
Yeah. So I bet a lot of Sun Belt this year. Troy did win the Sun Belt. However, they lost to James Madison earlier in the year, but obviously James Madison didn't get to play in the Sun Belt championship game because the NCAA has a big fat dump in their pants.
Yeah.
But anyways, Troy's pretty solid defensively. I like that pick, taking Duke, though. I think Duke's still a better team. It really just comes down to what Duke looks like without Riley Leonard. That's the issue.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they can win the game, but I think they could possibly cover it. Like you said, we just have to see what the quarterback situation looks like.
I think Duke's defense is good enough for them to cover that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I thought about picking them outright, but the lack of Leonard makes me nervous about it. But I think they should cover 7. Now that I think it was at like 6.5 earlier this week.
Yeah.
Now that it's at 7.5, they should cover that, no problem.
Yeah. Speaking of that, hold on, let me write a note down because I have a bet for us to look out for. All right. So let's move on to week 16 of the NFL, wrapping up just 3 more weeks. Then we get into playoffs. This week is weird because it kind of feels like it's not like super important this week. Like there's a few good games this week, but like a few teams could take a break this week, I feel like, without getting too messed up. Like your top seed guys, like the Ravens, the Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, all those. I mean, they're obviously in the playoff and they're fighting for seeding, but like they can take a break, and they all have like some pretty decent games this weekend, especially in the AFC. I know that there's a few key games, but it just kind of feels weird. I think we're just going to have some good games, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be as competitive as our next 2 weeks will be. I don't know how you guys feel about that. But
it's a lot of games that I think there's teams playing with a lot on the line, but everything's so bunched up that I don't think this week's going to determine anything, like you said.
Yeah, like, I mean, who's going to threaten the Ravens for the 1 seed?
I think they got that locked up.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
Miami.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know. So, all right, we'll get into this. I'll get into my lock. This one is kind of like a trendy pick. I'm going to go Bengals -1.5 at -115 for my lock. That's my home team, I guess you could say, from where I'm from, and everyone. After Joe Burrow went down, you could just feel in the tri-state like the energy gets sucked out, and like everyone getting ready for baseball season. Surprisingly, so with Jake Browning playing as good as he is, like I think they can win this one. He did play the Steelers at the beginning of the year, and he did lose against them, but I think he's a totally different quarterback than he was in the first couple of weeks. So I really like them at -1.5. I think it'll be a lot more than that. And the Steelers are kind of tanking right now. Like, it's bad. Yeah. So I like the Bengals -1.5 there. And then my next one, I hate doing this because they burned me every time I've tried to bet with them. But I'm going to try one more time before the season's over. I'm going to go Commanders money line at +142. They're playing the Jets. I don't know if Zach Wilson's even starting this week because of his concussion. So I don't know like what the Jets are going to do. So Commanders money line. This game's going to suck. Someone has to win it, and I think the Commanders are going to come out on top. But yeah, those are my picks.
I like the Bengals pick.
Yeah.
I do too. The Steelers are in free fall. I was just in Pittsburgh over the weekend, visiting family, and like every Steelers fan I've met is ready for Tomlin to go, which seems crazy. But I
don't know why. I don't know. Like, if you did you and see in our like ATB chat where Chris Reynolds was talking about how like you all are saying like everyone's saying he should go, and he's like, or like it's crazy if he stays, but he's like what's he doing successfully here right now?
Yeah,
like it's obviously not working. I never really thought about it that way. Like if it's not working out, why keep him around?
Yeah, but like I feel like their version of not working is different from a lot of fan base's version of not working.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you talk to pretty much any Raiders fan, they would kill to be in Pittsburgh's position right now.
Yeah.
Trade places immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot
immediately.
Yeah. To them, like, a failure of a season to them, and I know this is for a lot of teams, is, I mean, they haven't gone under 500. And so, like,
that's insane.
That's champagne problems.
Yeah. Some teams are finishing with 1 or 2, 3 wins a season.
Now, I get they haven't really had any, like, significant success in a while.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, they're still remaining competitive in these years where, you know, I mean, they probably stuck with Ben as a franchise probably about 3 years longer than they should have. And now they're kind of paying the price for that right now. And they're just still trying to find the next guy, which they might not, because the Steelers, they find a quarterback every 25 years.
Yeah. So you go back to the match and find someone out there.
I mean, both of their great quarterbacks came from those small schools. Terry Bradshaw was at Louisiana Tech.
That's what I'm saying. They just need to go find someone.
Yeah, they went Sun Belt, MAC. Now they got to go like Conference USA or something.
Yeah,
they'll get like Liberty's quarterback.
They'll get like, oddly enough, Western Kentucky's always throwing out random dudes, so they'll get someone from Western Kentucky, and they'll like.
I think they have like an actual quarterback right now.
They do. Yeah. So I can see that.
There's that guy from Tulane too.
Oh yeah.
Pratt, but I don't know, he doesn't impress me.
JT.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
We went over your college picks. We went over your college picks already. So we did that, and I went over my NFL picks. If you want to take a second to get settled in.
I'm good. I was listening because I'm late because I was putting my daughter to bed. She's 2. And girl had like endless energy. So I'm just like listening in my headphone. I'm just like, go to sleep. Finally crashed. So I managed to sneak in for the back end of the show.
There you go.
Yeah. If you want to get started on your NFL picks in.
Yeah. Did Dalton already do his?
No, you can. I was about to, but you can get into yours if you want.
Yeah.
Perfect. I want to get in first because I know we're about to go against each other. So I want to get the first word in.
I think you're going to, if it's the game I think it is, you're going against me and Jake, I think.
Am I really? Oh man, I'm going against Jake twice this week. Then.
Jake's going against everyone.
Oh boy, I'm fighting everyone this week.
He's creating all the odds.
Nobody's safe.
Well, if I'm picking against Jake, I'm also going against him in a fantasy in our league around the block.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so my lock this week, I am taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Basically a pick'em game. Bucs are at home, so only being a 1-point favorite, it's kind of really Vegas leans towards Jacksonville in this game. So I'm taking the Bucs to win outright. Bucs have won 3 in a row. They're starting to put it together. You know, they came into this year with an offensive line that had a rookie guard, a first-year starter at tackle, and then they have 2 backups playing on the interior, and they're finally starting to gel and put it together in the running game. They have a new offensive coordinator who's finally starting to click in terms of play calling and sequencing and really developing the identity for this Bucs team. And we've seen it in 3 consecutive weeks, 2 of which have been playoff-type games going against the Falcons, where they had to take control of the NFC South, and then last week in Green Bay, who was in the hunt for a wild card. So the Bucs are, dare I say, red hot, if not at least lukewarm. And the Jaguars are ice cold. They've lost 3 in a row. Trevor Lawrence has an ankle injury. He's in the concussion protocol right now. He might not even play in this game.
Progressing well.
Good. I hope he is. Honestly, I want nothing but good things for Trevor Lawrence. But he hasn't been great this year. I've been really disappointed with his season overall. So really, Bucs are playing better football right now. I'm taking them as my lock. And then my dog, it's kind of another pick'em game. I'm taking the Colts +1 against. Oh, see, this is where I should have taken some time and got settled in. I forgot who they play. Atlanta, thank you. And kind of the same thing. Atlanta's not playing good football right now. They just lost to the Panthers last week. They're benching their quarterback and Desmond Ridder. Taylor Heineke's coming in, who I do think will be an upgrade, so there's that. But Colts have been playing just solid ball all year. They're strong up front on the defensive line. Gardner Minshew has been not awful, which has been cool. So I'm getting a point. I think the Colts are the better team. I think they're going to win outright. Colts +1.
I like that pick.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. That
So
was
tell me
not
why I'm a fool, Dalton. Tell me why I'm a fool.
so that wasn't the pick I thought. I thought you were going to talk about I thought it was going to be another game, but that actually makes sense now that I think about it. But yeah. So for my lock this week, I'm taking the Jaguars -1. Like JT said, it's definitely a toss-up game. But I like the Jags. It's a pick-em game with the way the spread is, but I like Jacksonville here. Simply because I think we're at a point in the season where both these teams are sitting at similar points right now, fighting for the division crown in arguably two of the worst divisions in the NFL. And I think so far this year, Jacksonville has underperformed, and I think Tampa Bay has overperformed by most expectations, I think, to an extent. And I think you're going to slowly see, as we get into the home stretch here, both teams kind of have statistical corrections. Is probably the best way to put it. I do think the Jaguars are going to do enough to win the AFC South. And I don't know if the Bucs are going to be able to play well enough to really make the playoffs. And I think this is going to be that turning point for both teams. I do think this is definitely contingent upon Trevor Lawrence finishing the concussion protocol. But as long as he's healthy and playing, I think Jacksonville just has too much talent to lose to Tampa Bay. So that's my lock this week. My underdog pick this week. My underdog pick this week. Baltimore at +190 against San Francisco.
You're just creating odds too, dude. I don't understand it.
Dalton
You
chose
and Jake.
violence this morning.
Now, I mean,
No, I get it.
This one, full disclosure, I in the one fantasy league I made the playoffs, and I have McCaffrey, so I don't like picking this. I need him to defend my keeper league title, but Baltimore's defense has been really tough this year, especially against running backs.
Mhm.
And I don't think San Francisco can beat a team like Baltimore if they can't get McCaffrey going. McCaffrey is the MVP of that team. I think he's the league MVP. And if he can't get going in that game, I think in a tough defensive battle like this, it's which team's offensive stars can make enough plays. And I think in this one, I think Lamar Jackson will make more plays than McCaffrey will be able to make. That's kind of what I think it'll come down to. And I mean, really, this is very much a toss-up game, I think. But with Baltimore getting +190, the way they're playing, can't pass up that value. I'll take the Ravens.
Yeah, and I can see that going. I can see it going this way just because the Niners do struggle with a mobile quarterback. I mean, you saw with the Cardinals game last week. I mean, they still put up 45 points, but the Cardinals hung up 29 on them. So I think the Ravens are head and shoulders better than the Cardinals. I can see it happening.
You're trying to reverse jinx your team.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm just saying. I'm putting logic behind it.
Don't be sly.
Yeah,
Don't be sly.
just like I can see Utah. I can see Utah winning too. I can see Utah winning. I can see Utah winning. I can see the Ravens winning. I could see JMU or Air Force winning. I can see them all winning. I'm reverse jinxing them all.
That's like in fantasy when you're down 30 with 2 guys left heading into the Monday night games, and you say, good game.
Yeah.
I'll use that strategy this week.
Everyone's done that. Everyone's done that.
Jake, well done. I congratulate you in advance.
Yeah. I just have one player left, dude. I can't get 30 points, and all of a sudden your wide receiver goes for like 180 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The Sam Laporta treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So for my lock this week, gonna go with the Raiders against the Chiefs over at 41.5. Before last week, I definitely would not have taken this over, but the Raiders did just put 60 points on the board. Their defense has been good, but on the road they have the sixth worst scoring defense, and I feel like every time they play Kansas City, the Chiefs put a ton of points on them. These teams played a couple weeks ago, and the final score was 31-17, which pretty easily covers this over. So I feel pretty confident about this. Check the forecast for Christmas morning. It's no snow, and it's going to be in the 50s, so I don't think weather will play too much of a factor here. So, yeah, we're going with the over in that one. And then for my money line pick, I'm also going with the Ravens plus 190. They've beat pretty much every good team in tough tests that they've had, except for they let the Browns come back on them, so they split the season series there. But besides that, they've pretty much handled every tough opponent they've played. They're coming off a pretty big win against Jacksonville on the road. San Francisco is a very good team, and part of the reason I'm taking this bet isn't even because I think the Ravens will win, but just I got it at 190, which feels pretty high for the first seed in the AFC. I think this game is going to be close nonetheless, and I could see the 49ers winning, but at plus 190, I feel like that's some pretty good odds for a game that's at least going to come down to the wire. But I think whenever you get those odds with the first seed in a conference in a game, you got to take them.
Yeah. When you get a chance to double your money on an 11-3 team winning, like,
yeah,
you're just throwing your guys' money away. I hope you know that. I'm just kidding.
the Niners don't even need this one either.
No, that's what I was telling you. Like, there's gonna be a lot of good games this week, but like, the Niners don't need it because the Eagles lost last night or Monday night, and then who else? The freaking Cowboys got smoked. The Ravens don't really need this one either. Like,
yeah. I mean, the league is just so top heavy right now. I mean, there
Yeah.
are maybe 7 teams capable of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right now. Maybe 7.
And I will say, I'm not trying to reverse jinx. Like I said, the AFC North has been destroying the NFC West. And we've only beat the Steelers out of the North. We got beat by the Browns and Bengals. So I don't know. All signs are pointing to a Ravens win, but I don't know.
But then also, I mean, a statistical correction could be in order too.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Let's get into our parlay here. Here it is. All right. Gardner Minshew, man, he is popular on our parlays. But
Minshew madness.
Minshew madness. But I'm going to get started with my pick. This one, I'm really loving the Bengals this week. T. Higgins over 4.5 receptions. Chase is more than likely. I think he's listed as questionable right now, but I think he won't be playing this week. We were talking before the show. I didn't know if I want to take his yards over 60.5 or his receptions over 4.5. I could see him hitting both of these pretty easily. Jake Browning seemed to build a rapport with him last week with those crazy touchdowns to Higgins. He hasn't really connected with Tyler Boyd too much this year or since he's been in the past few weeks. I think Higgins is going to get a lot of the carry here in the receiving game.
All right. So for mine, I'm betting with my heart. I need the Philadelphia Eagles to close this year out strong and win their division. I've got a big parlay bet of like 6 division winners I picked at the beginning of the year, and I'm this close to hitting it. Eagles are the only team scaring me right now. So I'm going Devontae Smith, anytime touchdown. They're playing the Giants, who are awful. The Eagles are going to bounce back spot. I'm thinking they're going to put up 64 points, top the Raiders last week. Just a big bounce back game against a bad Giants team. Devontae Smith's finding the end zone.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like he's been getting a lot more love these past few weeks. So I could see it happening.
I like it, yeah. So speaking of Gardner Minshew, that's my pick this week for the parlay. Gardner Minshew over 1.5 touchdown passes at plus 165 right now, which the value is one of the big selling points for me on this. But also, Minshew is he's thrown for 6 touchdown passes over the last 3 weeks. So he's averaging about 2 a week. And, he's really starting to come into his own this year. And they're playing an Atlanta team that's, Atlanta's defense, yes, is not bad. But that whole team's starting to pack. I feel like they're slowly starting to fold on this year. And I could see them really packing it in as they continue to get pushed further and further out of contention in the NFC South. And I think Indy should win this game, and I think a big reason why is going to be Minshew continuing to play pretty well.
Look at Dalton finding common ground with people. Both picking I love it.
All right. To round this out, I'm going to be going with James Cook over 23.5 receiving yards. In the past 5 weeks, he's seen his target share go up. It's doubled, actually, pretty much from 8.4% to 15%. He now has the 5th most receiving yards among all running backs. And he's playing the Chargers this week, whose defense gives up the 2nd most receiving yards per game to running backs. And his prop of 23.5, they've given up that to the starting running back for their opponent in 5 of the last 6 games. So I feel pretty confident here. The Bills are starting to figure things out and get back to where they should have been at. So
Yeah.
I think Cook will have a big game this week.
Yeah, I like that. And we'll tweet that out. I know we'll have games starting. Do any of our games start on, or have any Thursday night games?
Yeah, I think the Saints play.
Yeah, Rams and Saints on Thursday.
Yeah.
We
No,
got Saturday football.
No, I was saying, do any of our props that are on Thursday night? No.
I don't think so.
No.
But we got one on Saturday.
Yep,
Yeah.
we do have a couple on Saturday.
Man, this is a nice weekend of NFL football.
Yeah. So I guess I'll look on Friday to make sure I can bet all these props, and I'll tweet it out. But I'll make sure to get the parlay out somehow before we get started with the games on Saturday. So guys, don't worry, we'll tweet that out. But I'll run through it again just one more time. Gardner Minshew over 1.5 touchdowns. T. Higgins over 4.5 receptions. James Cook over 23.5 receiving yards, and Devontae Smith anytime touchdown. Now, these lines might move a little bit for the T. Higgins and the James Cook line or props by the time we can get those in for the parlay. But they shouldn't move too much. But I think we'll stick on the over on both of them, no matter which way they go, as long as they don't skyrocket for some odd reason. But we'll make sure to tweet it out so you guys can have that for the game start. Now, before we get off, I do have one bet. I think a few of us have a couple bets outside of the football this weekend. This one's crazy. Thursday or tomorrow, actually, at 6:00, so right before Thursday Night Football, tune in to University of Kentucky basketball and Louisville basketball playing each other. Now, I hate UK basketball. I hate betting on UK because they bit me in the ass so many times in football and on some of my futures in basketball last season. But they're at minus 14.5 against Louisville. I don't know if you guys know are like in tune with college basketball that much this year yet, but Louisville is a freaking dumpster fire. Like they cannot, like they struggle against small, barely D1 schools. And for this line to be 14.5 is crazy. I don't know if Vegas knows something or what's going on, but it seems like you're stealing money if you bet on the minus 14.5. So be on the lookout for that one. I'm probably going to take the points at minus 14.5 for Kentucky just because I think they're going to be so much more talented than Louisville, but just be weary of it. It seems like it could be a trap, but also seems like it could be an easy play for money. I don't know, but I'm taking the points with Kentucky on this one. Do you guys have any bets?
I have
football.
I have one that I just saw. The Jazz and Pistons tomorrow. The spread is the Jazz minus 1.5, and the Pistons have lost 24 straight. So
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to be taking the Jazz. Aren't good, but I haven't seen the Pistons look competitive in a while. So
I think you missed that 43-point game from Cade yesterday, and that
I did. I saw that
loss.
Actually.
They are this close to almost being terrible.
And of course, now I think it's the first time I've mentioned them. They're probably going to win this game as soon as I brought them up. But
I cannot pick them to win any game. As far as I'm concerned, they're going 2-80.
I have for the last couple. I think they played the Sixers, and their money line was like plus 690. I put like $5 on it just in case. But
their money line against the Jazz is plus 108 right now.
Interesting.
That's
feels low.
Honestly, they have been playing better since Bogey came back. You know, their spacing is terrible. So adding Bojan Bogdanovic has been a big help. Cade is still one of the better guards in the league. He just hasn't had anything around him. They've taken off their second center from the floor because they were starting two centers because, you know, modern NBA is all about more big men on the floor and less spacing.
Yeah.
So since they've started playing like actual forwards and not two centers, it's gotten better, but it's still awful.
Yeah.
To be fair, I do think like the trend the NBA is going is big players, but they have to be able to handle the ball and shoot like guards.
Yeah. They want the best of both. They want the best of all worlds in one player.
Yeah, like if Kevin Durant had like 50 more pounds on him, he'd be the perfect modern power forward.
Yeah.
I think 10 years from now you're gonna see lineups, or 10 to 15 years from now, it's going to be try to get three guys in your lineup that are built like Embiid, Jokic, KD, you know, guys that are 6'10" or up and can shoot and handle the ball.
Yeah, we need to get rid of like these dudes that look like Victor Wembanyama. That dude looks scary as hell. Like how
no, that's the new NBA.
I don't like that dude. I feel like every time he jumps, his legs are just going to go.
That's the new NBA.
Well, when the Pistons draft Alex Sarr first overall this year, they can plug his 7-foot self next to, you know, Jalen Duren's 6'10", 250-pound self, and they're just going to go big and they can actually move.
Yeah.
All these top guys are all gangly looking dudes. Like
that's what I'm saying.
The same way.
I feel like they're all gonna like. It scares me whenever they jump, dude. Like they're gonna snap their leg.
Well, they're all gonna have careers of a decade or less.
Yeah.
You ever seen
Embiid's knees are gonna literally explode any game.
If you've ever seen like Wembanyama or like Chet or any of them fall badly, it's a sight to behold.
I'm sure it looks like
if
a
they
giraffe.
roll an ankle on the way down, just watching them fall looks different from any other human.
It's just a pile of limbs.
It literally probably looks like a giraffe falling. Like, yeah, like Dalton said, just limbs everywhere.
Welcome to the new NBA.
Yeah.
Dirk brought in the air of the stretch 4, and then we got Steph's high efficiency basketball, and now Now we're getting it all in
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
It's the European takeover.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we only have AAU ball to blame for that, but that's a whole other story.
I mean, the dudes are good, so I don't care. I mean, it makes the product great.
Yeah, but like American, the AAU is why like the U.S. is slowly falling behind.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I know what AAU is, but I don't know too much. Like, I know there's a lot of politics and
and it's just
craziness
a
behind it.
handful of super teams, and
Yeah.
basically it's hero ball, and
Yeah.
so American players aren't learning how to like actually line up in a defensive set or really play the game.
Yeah, they're just skipping fundamentals and seeing who can shoot the longest three and dunk.
Any
Yep.
kid that has
13.
handles, any kid that can handle the ball well is just gonna ISO. every
Yeah.
play. And they
And
play
some-
way too many games too.
Yeah. Some of them are literally like not even playing defense. I forget, whose kid was it that I saw in like an AAU game a couple years ago, literally just standing at half court every time his team was on defense.
He's an
It was
instant
like
fast
someone's
break.
famous kid.
Yeah.
Well, LaMelo used to cherry pick it
Yeah,
at Chino Hills.
that might have been it. Maybe it was just LaMelo.
Yeah, I remember seeing him just be standing at the other basket.
Yeah.
Next team's on defense.
But what was crazy is he would cherry pick like half court and then just take one step in and just shoot it.
Yeah.
Just silly. Like it's not even real basketball.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyone else got any other bets?
I got Celtics money line going right now. Not great so far.
Oh, forgot that song.
Yeah, it
Oh,
started
shit.
about. Yeah.
What'd you get it at?
So I originally got it in a parlay with the Lakers money line,
Yeah.
which that game was like in the third quarter when I got it, and the Lakers lost, and then I just doubled down on the Celtics, and I got them at plus 210 because they were already down 5.
I was about to say they're
210 is wonderful.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're
Yeah.
down or it was plus 200 just a second ago.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I've been live betting a lot more.
Yeah.
And I'm very
See, I can't get into live betting too much.
I like doing it if I'm like sitting at a bar or something, and there's like a basketball game on TV.
I want to
Yeah,
get in for college basketball. I want to start getting into like first half money lines and stuff like that. I always thought that was interesting.
Problem is, I have like betting on basketball for me might as well be horse racing. I literally have no idea like who anyone is or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going by vibes.
Yeah. Well, college basketball before conference play is kind of
Yeah.
tough to bet.
There you go. Dalton, Celtics up by 1. They're at plus 124 right
There
now.
we go. There we go.
Already paying off. You can probably cash out and make like a few dollars.
Well, I only put 83 cents on it because that's what was losing my DraftKings account.
You can cash
That
out
was
for
the only
85
reason I bet
cents.
games tonight. I'm just trying to get my DraftKings account back up high enough to cover my bets from my 2 best bets articles and Gamble Ramble.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and call it an episode. 55 minutes, not too bad. JT, glad you're able to join us for the last half of the episode.
You know, when you were 3-1 last week, you can do pretty much anything you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and end this one. That was episode 17. Everyone, thank you for everything, and thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Let us know if you follow any of our bets, if there's any bets you want us to look at. Like I said, I'll tweet out the parlay that we have you can go ahead and follow any of us on our socials, and we'll get that either retweeted or something. You'll be able to find it. So let us know if you follow that. We appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you all next week. I think, next week. Christmas on Monday, so we'll be here for Wednesday next week at 9:30 Eastern again. And
New Year's Six bowl picks.
Oh yeah. So get excited for that.
I already know my lock.
I already have all mine. I bet mine a couple weeks ago. So
is that weekend going to be the playoff, or is it the following weekend?
I think that's
It is that
playoff, it's
weekend.
New Year.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or might be New Year now.
No, I think it's New Year's
I don't know.
Eve.
Yeah, New Year's Eve is a Sunday night. So Saturday will be the 30th. So yeah, that'll be that weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. If we need to have an emergency episode, we'll do something. We'll make sure you guys get our bowl picks for the New Year's games. So thank you guys again for watching, and have a good